What's up, everybody? We've got the analysis stream tonight. Streaming till 9:30, 9:40. Approximately 3 hours of game analysis. I have games from let me see now. This is March 2nd, correct? I wrote it was March 2nd. Well, that was dumb. The March 2nd. Okay, well, today's the 3rd. So that was... No, it is the 2nd. Okay, cool. I was right. You got a 9. You're not in line. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Arsenal. You've been left out. You'll have to come back next week. No, just kidding. We've got XL Poker... XL Poker, Arsenal fan, Asterbait, Mule Skinner, Schumacher, and someone I can't read. Oh no, I deleted all my notifications. Alright, I can check inbox. Schumacher, game for analysis. I didn't add this? I thought I added this. Weird. I guess not, apparently. Doesn't look like Schumacher. I've got Mule Skinner, which can't be put in the stream. I'm just gonna call it Mule, the Mule. Mule number 2. Alright, so I remember his second game in his study. There was possibility of Cockatieri, but I can't remember if that was last week. Was Cockatieri last week? Or was it for this week? 6 days ago. Maybe we didn't get to Cockatieri's and that's why he was next. Okay. Yeah, we didn't get to his game. That must have been what it was. Remembering everything now. Alright, it was a 2182 ECF. It's so weird the ECF are now. They're now with the 4-digit ratings. I can't really imagine that. Alright. Analysis board. Can I just do paste? And then copy, whatever. Alright. That's Cockatieri. Which should be first or second. I think he's first. He was in even before XL Poker. Those are the two guys that left out last week. Cockatieri and XL Poker. Arsenal fan first for this week. Asterbait. Schumacher. Mule Skinner. As someone with a big OTB victory. You can confirm. I mean, it's so new, right? The English ratings with the 4 digits are so new. I mean, the system has only been in place for a short time. I'd imagine it would be kind of hit or miss how accurate it is. Just saying. But let me see. Inbox, anything else? Ripun canceled his Move 11s, must be from last week. Yeah, I think we're good. That's all. Just all the snowflakes started to complain. Those woke snowflakes. Alright, man. About the old system. Well, it's gonna, they're gonna complain no matter what system it is. They're gonna be, maybe not the snowflakes, but somebody's gonna be complaining. You can guarantee that, man. Nothing you ever do is gonna be making everybody happy. I mean, admittedly, it makes sense if the international system is 4-digit ELO rating and FIDE uses that as well, but you know, since when do the British change their system? We're still weighing by pounds and shit. You don't even have the metric system. Why change the ratings to like 4 digits? Mr. Coffee, what's up? Asterbate punches people like you. I think you should take them to court. I should too. Alright, I'm going to take the USCF and FIDE to court for my rating. No, just FIDE. I feel sorry for the US Chess Federation a little bit. Alright, what do we got here getting started? I left the study again. Guys, let's get a hype train. It's already Thursday. We've got 2 gift subs, 507 bits from Mr. Coffee, and 100 from Sapvargan. It's already a new month. Ageism is rife. Well, I mean, dude, I've been complaining about this for a long time. K-factor crap, where you're like young and your rating can change more. That's totally arbitrary. What about an adult who starts playing at age 50? He's basically a child as far as chess is concerned. Yeah, I agree. Ageism. Not fair. Why should the kids have like higher K-factors just because they're kids? I say we take them to court, man. Go to the Supreme Court. Alright. You pay for our lawyers. New players have 40K factor until 30 games under FIDE. Oh, new players. So it's not just juniors? I thought there was something with ages at some point. Are you sure there was never some kind of thing with age under FIDE? Why do I have that in my mind? That's weird. New players have a 40K factor until 30 games. Just 30 games? Under 18, I think they stay 30 or something. There is a provision for age. That's what I was afraid of. Alright, is there any other games I missed? What is Chapter 6 again? What is Chapter 6? That's Kakatiri. So if Chapter 6 is Kakatiri, what is Chapter 1? It's a good freaking question, man. Alright. That is an empty chapter. Chapter 1 is Kakatiri. With white. Against 2100 ECF. The English. Excel Poker, you're next. What's up? Oh no, my queen. I got my beer on the table. I don't know what to drink it in. I got 2 coffee mugs. This looks more like a beer stein. Alright, C4, knight F6. I'm really sad, like we had this huge collection of beer steins in America, but I couldn't keep them. That sort of sucks to collect shit for like 50 years and then just like give them away or sell them. Why did I bother collecting all that shit? Why did my family bother collecting all that shit? Alright, Mr. Coffee, you better get the room ready. Next year I'm gonna be down there with my stuff. I gotta resolve this apartment stuff. I'm paying like a mortgage on my freaking storage unit. I pay a mortgage price. Like people pay on their house. I'm paying on the stupid storage unit every month. I just need to vent about it. This is Kakatiri. He's playing white. It's in English. You know, so most people play the reverse Sicilian with D5. And maybe if someone suggested I turn my current apartment into an Airbnb. If I could do that, I could probably like get out of here if I had a regular income. Knight c6, I could probably go back. I need money to travel back to the United States. Alright, so this isn't a very good variation for black as far as I know. Basically, when we're playing this hyper-accelerated or accelerated dragon with white, black either plays d5, going into reverse dragon, plays c6, which I played a lot myself, or at least in Blitz I have, and or plays bishop c5, you get the Bodler in reverse. The problem with knight c6 is you'd think it would be as good as, you'd think it would be as good as bishop c5, but this is kind of problematic. I really don't know what to recommend for black here. Well, they do bishop c5 anyway, just a less flexible version of bishop c5. Why has c5 never been played? Well, I was just explaining that to Asterbait. That's funny, man. Are you asking for yourself or for a friend? That's like the exact idea I was talking about Asterbait. Like, well, c5 is never played because you ain't getting it in d5, bro. So you gotta like sort of retarded Marazzi where your knight's on f6. Asterbait had the reverse of this today. He showed me the exact same thing, like reverse of, if you can't get in d5, you have a bad Botanik where your knight's on f6. That's the point. The Botanik is fine, but you don't want your knight on f6. If your knight's on f6, then you're interfering with your own ability to break with f5. So it's like that knight should be on e7. If your knight is on e7 instead of f6, you're okay. Or if it's on g8 and you haven't committed yet, it's okay. But technically this is an inferior system for black. To be honest, it's probably not that bad. It's like, it's playable for black. But if you're not going to get in d5, Mr. Coffee's thinking in terms of bowling again. The basic rule is, like, if you play c5, you got to play for a Marazzi. If you can't get the Marazzi, you're stuck with no, with your knight on the wrong square. If we have a Botanik type of scenario, I'm going to be the one with f4, and you're not going to be the one with the f5. Or even even if I don't play a Botanik type scenario, you need f5, f4 like for counterplay. So the knight is considered to be misplaced. But good question. Alright. But black plays knight c6, knight c3, bishop c5. Yeah. The problem is, like, bishop e4 just walks right into knight d5. So that doesn't really seem better. Although maybe I've played this with black. I've played a5 in like blitz games, and I think I've faced it a few times. Probably that would be black's best option there, rather than play bishop c5 in 2 moves. And this is not a problem. So that's an alternative. Andrash Adorian. Yeah. Yeah, the game I agreed to play on my rest day that ruined my chance for GM Norm. I remember it well. I was like +3 in the GM tournament and took a moron. Oh, let's just play on my rest day. Don't rest when you're like +3. Well, I'd already agreed in advance, so I was kind of screwed. I didn't know I was going to be like +3 in the tournament when I agreed to do like my rest day. Before the tournament, then I was +3 and early on, and it all fell apart after I lost to Friedman. Alright, knight d5, this is interesting. Bishop c5 is interesting, but this is Korchnoi versus this is Korchnoi, a game I use a lot as an example. The piece is outside the pawn chain. It's Korchnoi Sabo, Stefan Sabo from Bucharest, 1953. I have Originally, I got the game from Modern Chess Opening Theory by Swayton. I've probably done a video on it at some point. Basically, it's like e3, h3, g4, and he pushes back all. Sabo Stefan wasn't a famous player like Sabo Laszlo, but he was a master. Anyway, he gets destroyed by Korchnoi, where the pawns just like push back the black pieces. This is better for black in theory, right? Because you're not committed to knight c6, you have a more flexible... Black has more flexible options. Black can play maybe c6 or d6. It doesn't have to commit to knight to c6. But I don't really like, the Bodler anyway. So e3 is correct. Black plays castles, knight e2, and now a6. That's the typical move for these positions. Yeah, you see here, Movsesian has played it twice. There are two people who will play this crap for black that I've seen, Sokolov, Ivan, and Movsesian. Movsesian has a tendency to play sort of slightly offbeat stuff. Those are the only 2700s I've seen playing the bishop c5 English. And this is a good version, keep in mind, a good version for white. So statistics here like a3. I mean, we're going to probably see a Magnus game. No Magnus games. Magnus likes to play with a knight on f3. I don't know why. He'll often play like knight f3 Englishes. Maybe not this setup. Or maybe like Magnus's opponents wouldn't play this. But there are, 3 Movsesian games, Kobalia, Nair. A ton of decent players here have played this for black. Do you think d6 is inferior to rook e8? It depends, Maybe. If you can't recapture on e5 with the pawn, you might have a problem. If you play rook e8 and I play d4, and you play like bishop retreat, where are you going to go? If I can take here, and no, I'm not sure. I mean, you're going to end up playing d6 anyway in that scenario. Is there something here? Is there something with d6? Then the answer is yes. Rook e8 is inferior. This Varshini sounds familiar. Probably just a coincidence. So there you see a direct answer. You can do takes, but yeah, I think d6 is better. So it stops d5, d5, d6, among other things. But then again, if you're going to follow Movsesian's games, what Movsesian will do is he won't even play a6. I believe he'll play like bishop b6 straight up, like here, here, and then here. There's no Movsesian games there. I thought there were, but okay, it's like a similar position. Damjanovic, Lichess. No. So that's playable for black though. It's not like a forced loss. I have seen some weird stuff happen. I remember this one time a friend of mine got crushed because his opponent, who was like an English expert, did this. Something like this happened. They digested his bishop on b6. Like, give up the light square bishop and accept all kinds of weaknesses. But if you can kill that piece on b6 completely, like out of the game, maybe it's not so bad. This version is just too weakening for white, though. I guess it has to be just the right situation for it to work. Yeah, too many weaknesses here. Maybe h3 makes a difference, so we get that in. Anyway, there was this moment where his opponent did like bishop takes c6 and b4, and his bishop was just like trapped on b6. Not easy to do it, I guess. Yeah, so here Kakatiri doesn't play d4. I think h3 is also useful. I might, not castle right away as well. Is there any possibility of black doing like a d5 type of gambit? Like, if I play h3, is it too slow? It's just really not necessary until black plays d6, I guess. Well, in spirit, you're right. Arsenal. But you don't literally have to play d4. I mean, d3 is playable. It's just a reserved way of playing. Ivanchuk. Mo Sessian. Tell that to Ivanchuk. Alright, castles, d6. And White can also play b3, and you can see that a3 is the number one move. I'm not really sold on this. I'm not sure what the plan is with a3 necessarily. Bishop a7, b4, bishop f5, d4. So maybe here we're starting to see those situations where bishop takes c6 could happen. Still not clear. Rook e8, h3, h6, king h2, rook b8. If you give up your light square bishop to kill that bishop on c5 or a7, the white squares are still really, really weak. I would imagine if the queens were exchanged, it might be good. Maybe it was some situation where black allowed a queen exchange. It must have been some kind of situation where there was an exchange on e5 and black took back with the pawn, and then the queens were traded. If the queens are traded and you get this kind of thing, it's possible black is strategically lost with that bishop on a7. Gotta be careful. It never appealed to me, this system for black. Okay, d3 is very quiet. h6 is normal. Can somebody please tell him to chill out? b3, rook b8. Bishop b2. h3. And now maybe queen d2. Yeah, this is the best. So Kakatiri played in a reserved kind of fashion, but it's solid. This is very solid for white. Should black play queen c8 there? Or should he play queen d7, by the way? If you play queen d7, you defend your knight, so you could possibly play b5. Does that matter? Computer doesn't like it. Black also has knight b4. Yeah, I mean, I've had to do this kind of thing with white, with knight c1. It may not be a problem. The Bodler in practice, the reverse Bodler. So black plays knight e7 unprovoked. Okay, that's a reasonable move, but white has a strong advantage in the center. d4 now. Kakatiri played e4. Play both. I wonder what Mihai Shuba would do. I mean, you could play for f4, without d4 or e4. Fortunately, might play g4. You never know when g4 is going to hit you. Man, that is annoying. That built-in help bot, Siri or whatever. What is it on Microsoft? It starts popping up on my computer. Yeah, that's the game that Korchnoi won against Stefan Sabo. The guy could have like sacked the piece, but it's not. It's nothing. It's doubt. It's nothing. It's nothing. You could play g4 here. There's no way black sacks a piece. He's gonna end up with like both of his bishops pushed back by the pawns. This is basically the whole idea, you know. Just do the pawn wave. It's terrible for black. Black's getting slaughtered here. I wonder how strong g4 is objectively. Maybe black should actually retreat back on this diagonal. That's how the guy got crushed by Korchnoi. Shit, the computer, yeah. Well, the computer realizes it has to do bishop takes g4, because anything else is like game over. This is funny. This reminds me of a game I had in the tournament, in the GM tournament, closed tournament I played last year. This freaking kid, who I could play this weekend, but I don't feel like it. He sacked a piece for 2 pawns and survived and drew the game. It was like the last round of the tournament. He would have been destroyed the same way. You know, Arsenal's right. Like, you have to do this. The only reason it's best is because everything else is like losing by force. Yeah. It's bad for black, but playable, it looks like. So I don't blame Kakatiri for not playing g4, but I bet Korchnoi might have considered it. Well, he definitely would have considered it. e4 is good. And now f4. It's interesting, the f4. We evacuated this diagonal. Yeah, no, white has a lot of attacking ideas there. He'll eventually take over. So f4 is actually stronger than d4. I mean, f5 is really problematic for black. We actually have the threat of both taking and sacking the exchange on f6, and just pushing to f5 with the King's Indian like pawn storm. No, I think black is strategically pretty much lost if you play like knight h5. It's real bad. Maybe black can survive though. Like bishop d4. Yeah, it looks like it holds on. But knight h5 looks peculiar. I could play this. Black is in desperate situation. It's very bad. Really bad for black. Minus 2.6. There's no good solution for black here. Black is strategically lost. No, it's a good lesson. This is good, but not quite as good. Basically, playing d4 becomes like a King's Indian structure. You still have a big advantage. But he should definitely take here. I would think that black wants to do this. He goes back to c6. Alright. I get it. He does have control of d4. So what about that? Yeah, f4, knight c6. I think we're going to do an exchange sack at some point. You know, this type of thing. I mean, this looks really, really bad for black. I can't believe this is defensible. +7. +8. Oh my god. Well, so f4 was so much stronger than d4. So he tries to get back d4 under control. Now you could play knight d5. Yeah, he did it. It's bringing back memories of me playing the black side of the closed English and narrowly holding a draw. Yeah, this is a pity. White's better, but not that much better. That black can now have chances to hold a draw. This is going to be pressure. This is a massively different position now. Black has to play f5 now. Use that word "has to" a lot. We should widen the vocabulary to should seriously consider. Don't be so. No, well, you never heard of like passive defense? Not your style. Yeah, there's always the passive defense option. Yeah, I mean f5 looks like a try. It looks like the best try. I admit. We have to consider this though very seriously. I think that should be White's like first and foremost consideration. Speaking of, playing aggressively can lose slower too. It can lose faster. Yeah, you lose slower. Alright, I get it. Here, takes. Queen takes. Pressure on c7. This. Maybe rook e8. Not really where we want to go with the rook there, but maybe black should do this. Black's got a tough game, but he might be able to hold it. I don't like the c5 square. Black has like a very small chance of just sort of clinging to a draw somehow if he's really, really careful. But I agree with f5. The other option is just to defend passively. I mean, maybe you could play... To be honest, Arsenal, maybe Black could try something like c5. There's always the Benoni. We have a static weakness on d6. Yeah, we're probably just going to lose that pawn. That's no good. It's not an automatic loss, though. Right, giving up d6 might be better than being paralyzed. And you're down 4-3 on the king side. It's not an auto loss. Yeah. No, I mean, this doesn't automatically lose for black. Just if I'm like playing Banus or something. f5 is a good try. What are we doing about this pawn? Plays rook e1. Interesting. How about f4? What's up with f4 here? Threatening f3? White has back to f1 so we can go here. This would get kind of sharp. And white's clearly still better. This does look kind of gruesome. But I don't know what to recommend for black. So he takes. Alright, maybe that is better. Rook takes, threatening rook e7. Doesn't really do anything. Here, he does the c5. Yep. But now we have rook e7. Rook f6, guarding d6. Here goes another vacuum cleaner. This is the best black's position's been in a long time. The a7 pawn was hanging. The a7 pawn was hanging? I just said that. No. So I don't really get b5. I was afraid the a7 pawn was hanging, but it's not hanging. Why does black play b5 here? It's just like a random waiting move. Preventing the queen exchange with queen c4. I don't know. He just needed a move, I guess. Play queen c5. Uh-huh. Maybe. My feelings about this game are that white played a little too safely. Gave black a lot of practical hope. And then we get the technical ending that may or may not be winning for white. This is my worst endgame, the rook endgame. Rook on the 7th. This king can still come up here. But he activates the rook first. Interesting. So this may be necessary. Then bring the king over? What are we going to do? H4? I don't know if this is a win or a draw. I don't know if like anybody can definitively say. Where's Carsten Mueller when we need him? I like it so far. But I really fail to see how white can like win by force without making tremendous headway on the king side. By the way, I mean, did black screw this up? Maybe he should play h5? I wonder. Or does that just become more of a weakness? Number one move. According to the engine, like h5 is the only move that doesn't lose here. Plus 1.9. Well, I mean, that's pretty marginal. But it looks like, yeah, that answers that question. Black needs to play h5. I had the feeling, like, there's just too much space now. Once you get this in, and then get this in, and get this in, yeah, and black is really right on the verge of hopeless. Too much space. I mean, I guess we're going to transfer the king up, like here. I mean, ultimately, can white win by, like, transferring his king to an active square? Threatening, like, f4, g5? I think you gotta improve everything. I don't think rook a8 is right. I mean, this rook looks good here. I don't see the purpose of rook a8. I think you play, like, f3, and then you're going to play king f4. And you're just going to slowly improve your position step by step. And white's probably winning. I mean, yeah, theoretically g5 is a move, but I don't think we should do that. He doesn't have to like take it. It's not clear. Even if he does take it, it's not clear it's winning. I don't want to trade pawns. I think f3. The computer likes h5 as well. I still think that this is good enough. The computer wants to stop g5. That's bad anyway. You know, I think it's too late for black now. Rook a8 is bad, but we're fine. And rook a8 just wastes the tempo. It's alright to play a waiting move. But I definitely don't want to trade. Yeah, he stopped you from bringing your king in. That's interesting. So white actually should have played king f4, rook d4 check, king f3, rook here, and then probably like king e4. I wonder what happens if he just keeps checking us. I'd rather have the pawn on f3. I think we're winning no matter what, though. I don't like exchanging. This position, I'm concerned, it might not be surely a win. So this exchange on g5 is a mistake. Not easy to win with white. Rook f8 check, king g7, rook b8, rook f6, rook b7 check, king g8, h5. What if we just play h5? This is a secondary weakness. You know, black has two weaknesses now. It's got to be winning. You know, it's just going to take a long time. The main thing is that we improve the king for white. He's going to be tied down to those two pawns. We're going to slowly improve the king. Here, 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 here. And then start moving the queenside pawns. Eventually get the king up to like d5. Put black in something close to like Zugzwang. I mean, obviously there are also threats of like, if our king was active enough, we could play rook g8 and rook g6 and like even like sacrifice a pawn to penetrate with the king on the other side or something. Just step by step. This looks like it might not be winning. This may be a theoretical draw. Is that a good idea? Like, black tries to get active with his king. That looks kind of weird. Oh! We got a challenge. No challenges. We're analyzing games. Yeah. Oof. Yeah, I mean, we're just gonna create a passer now. So it looks like black just collapsed himself with this move. So the question is, like, if we stay hanging out, right? Is white winning? Maybe he is winning. The engine likes what? It doesn't matter. It thinks we're winning no matter what. Alright, it looks like we're winning no matter what. We're eventually going to create a pass pawn. And I guess black lost on time here. But I mean, nothing's stopping f4, and we have a passer with the king right there. So it looks like it's winning. I mean, rook f5, king b4, a5, you know, whatever. You just play f4, and there's no way he's stopping our pawn. We're finally in the table base at move 52. But I guess his opponent like lost on time or something. I don't know. Let me check what his note was. Kakatiri said opponent was 2182 ECF, so a strong guy. I mean, I'm going to assume that that wasn't a draw. Like, he didn't offer a draw and you took it because you didn't have 5 seconds left. But if you took a draw there, big mistake. I'm assuming black lost on time. Or just resigned. But you never know. People do weird stuff. Pre-analysis information. The Caro-Kann is a great weapon. And I just followed theory and common plans, ended up easily in a slightly better position. The game itself looks boring. I think it's a good example how a game can evolve if you only know some opening moves and common game plans. Alright, let's see what I have to say. So this is an online game. We're not looking at a OTB game. Are you sure this is the right game? This is not a Caro-Kann. Oh, you sent the other? You want me to do the other? Yeah, I can change it. It's no problem. No, go for this? Okay. This is the white side of a Slav. Yeah, I guess technically, like, c4 is more accurate because it cuts out this bishop f5 crap. This happened to me against this English or Scottish guy, Scottish GM, John Shaw, once. You're like playing the stupid London system now. I've had a number of games on stream. So bishop f5 is bishop f5. It's a decent move, I guess. Theoretically, c4 is better, but you got to be, ready to play that for whatever reason. There's no way to necessarily take advantage of bishop f5. It's not like bishop g4. I had a game yesterday where someone played bishop g4, by the way. I mean, I think we go knight e5 here. It's not forced. But I think it's you know, logical. You could also play like a reverse Trompowsky there. That's good as well. Alright, but bishop f5 is much better for black, much more reliable. Now c4, and black must play what? 4 beers in half an hour, dude. e6. That's the move. This is the only move. The only good move, anyway. e6. Queen b3. This shit is kind of crazy. Knight c6. Number 4. What about you, Arsenal? You must know this as someone who's playing the Chigorin or whatever. This is becoming a form of Chigorin after this. That's black's best shot. He has to play e6 here. What's up with c6? Maybe it's not that bad. Was it? Bailey was streaming, and I had this position when he was watching one of our games. He made a comment. Oh yeah. See, here we can play c takes, and then queen b3. Yeah, this is good for white. So e6 is really forced. But XL Poker's opponent plays takes. Alright, so what we got here is a guy who played the Queen's Gambit accepted and then played bishop f5 when you played knight f3. Okay, that's weird. I have faced bishop e6, but I have not faced bishop f5. Whatever it is, it's a bad London system. My fellow New Jersey junior, Julian Arizmani Martinez, and Wojtkiewicz with the game against West Renan in his prime in '94. Yeah, this is bad for black. So, yeah, knight c3, and you're threatening e4. So he has to play knight f6. The question is, what happens next? There is the Slav style, like knight e5, but it seems like slow. Yeah, queen a4 might be okay. After e3, we're gonna transpose to something. Why isn't this some sort of transposition? e3, c6, e3, e6. Oh, that's kind of weird. What's wrong with c6? It's like an inferior Slav where black can't play bishop b4. That's why. I think this happened in like Uva, Aliakian Uva. Maybe one game. You end up with an inferior Slav. The engine likes knight h4. I mean, that's a normal move too. It's funny. That's the computer's best continuation. The modest e3, knight c3 followed by the modest e3. Queen a4 check, I mean, it's okay, you know. It's okay, but it's probably not as dangerous. I mean, the bottom line is, like, our queen, you know, will be exposed to some element of attack. This is probably not best. No one played queen d7 here. I mean, knight d7, excuse me. Queen d7. It's a Freudian slip, but no. What about knight d7? You know, you could still play knight c3, threatening e4, and he'll just play knight f6. I mean, you're a little better. I would expect black to play c6. But we're not, like, transposing. Why are we not transposing to something? It just so rarely happens, this move order, I guess. Knight f6. Ah, there we go. You transpose to a queen b3 variation of the Slav now. That's what's going on. I don't think there's any other choice. After this, you have to take the pawn. Black plays knight f6. And, yeah. Lichess used to play this with white. He would play g3. You know, it's like a Catalan. But white's a tiny, tiny bit better. I don't like bishop takes b1. Not really. I mean, it's playable, but not great. Yeah, knight c6 is a surprise. There's one game here. You might be able to play an alternative, like g3 or something. It almost feels like a Grunfeld with reverse colors. But this could be anything you can and will be used against you in a court of law or whatever. Yeah, queen c4 is correct. I'm not going to overanalyze it. Again, if g3 looks like bishop e4 might be annoying. Well, that's a thing, Arsenal. That's like when I've played bishop f5. Did you see me ever play the c3 Sicilian with bishop f5? It's done. It's done in the London system. It happens. I just think that it leaves black with a slightly worse position. But it's not that it's like... It's not that it's not playable. You're just making a minor concession. As Arthur Bisgar says, pays your money, he takes your choice. Boris Kogan versus Karl Berger, 1984. Around the time I started playing chess. So, yeah, A3 people played here. I guess that's... What's the point of A3? I mean, honestly, are you serious? 3 people played A3 in this position? The first move that comes to mind is G3. The second move that comes to mind is maybe bishop G5 is interesting. What's wrong with G3? Are you talking about control of the E4 square or whatever? Richard Bator. I thought it was Richard Bator. Is there 2 Bators? Robert and Richard? They're British. And it's like worse than Asserbate's name. Because it's like Master Bator. Yeah, that's awkward. I don't know. I like G3. What's the computer say? Bishop G5 or A3? What is it with A3 here? It's just knight b4. Alright. Alright. I admit I underestimated the danger. No, I underestimated the danger. This is actually a serious thing. Shit. But you never know. Like, there might be some kind of tactic. For sure you have e4. Yeah, we're a little late. You think there's knight e5? There's definitely knight h4. If you really want to be crazy. Knight c2 check, king d1. No, I don't recommend that. No, it's lost. Wow. Yeah. So that's why those dudes are playing a3. Yeah, screw that, man. I mean, is this still a problem after bishop g5? Here it's a different story, right? Rook c1, knight c2 check. Somebody actually did this. Oh my god. Black won the game? What? Wait a second. Oh, so this doesn't work because of like c6. Wow. He found the move too. e4. Bishop e7. Bishop takes f6. Bishop takes f6. Oh, he just traps the guy's bishop on c2. Oh shit. And he trapped it the wrong way. He had king d2. And the computer's like 2 pieces for a rook. It's game over. That's good to know. You know, that's a good trap to know. Wow. So you did play bishop g5. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, some player played bishop e4. She played bishop e4 here, but no big deal, you know. What does that... What does that threaten? Queen d5 or something? I'm fine with bishop b4. As long as the tactics don't work. Now you're better. e3 or g3, and again, knight b4 is still a thing? Is it... You know, if it's not a thing, maybe we consider g3. It's a thing again. Damn. You can't stop it. You had to play e3, so this is accurate. I like that Excel Poker didn't play the stupid a3 move, you know? It seems totally, like, useless. Just weakening White's position. So, now Black plays for exchanges. Takes. And now, which way does he take? He can take either way. If he takes with the knight, he unbackwardizes his knight. If he takes to the queen, he sort of pseudo-develops. This definitely deserves consideration. Though you could have knight h4. Though objectively, I don't know if that's a good move. He should seriously consider it, because I mean, after this, like, at least he can play c6 and just be done with that horrible backwardness on the c file. After this, you still got him here. Yeah. And Excel Poker played rook c1, which stops knight b4 threats, and it also keeps him tied up here. That seems okay. And now Black plays this, and it's looking better and better for you now. Queen c5 is strong. If it's ever been strong, it's strong here. This is not... yeah, 96 is... It's a bit strange, but I'm afraid that Black, you know, yeah, he doesn't really have a great move. How about trading pieces? Can we just try to chicken out? Yeah, rook f c8, it's passive, but playable. I agree, I don't like knight d6 either. And now you're just clearly better. Threatening rook d1 with giant pressure. Black needs to remove the c-file. problem. Well, honestly, I think just like rook d1, and you know, the next move is rook d1, and he's like paralyzed. I mean, if you play a3, you take away that square from the queen. You might need that. Another move that might be in the position is like bishop b5. So he tries to play against your queen. This square. You can play knight b5 here. But I guess it doesn't have a concrete threat. Maybe black's only hope is like to stick his knight in here and try to bottle your queen up. But I think you're just naturally completing your development with rook d1. I'm not even sure. Knight b4. You can play b3, queen b2 if you have to. That's what you did. Yeah, of course. It's very natural. He has no threats. He literally has no threats. He's afraid of knight e5, naturally. And now the white square is just completely gone. You know, honestly, like, maybe he could do this. It does look horrible. But it might be better than playing f6. Like, here, queen e8 or queen e7. It's not totally over. You do have a good position. I guess f6 like actually is worse than, you know, like the disease is worse than the cure here. Basically. This knight h4 is like a total nuclear meltdown on the white squares. Called Chernobyl. Clean up on aisle 5. We have all these squares here when that bishop goes. Now the whole complex of white squares is just like, dude, look at this. This is sick. That's why you don't trade your bishop on b1. It's basically the same thing. XL Poker's talking about pressure on c7, and that's a factor too. But now after f6, I think the game changes, and now he's got many problems all over the whole board. This doesn't really do anything. But that was crafty. So he's a positional player. No, that's a nice try. I'll give him credit for that. That is a nice try. Yeah, damn, dude, that's insane. He saves his light square bishop. Oh my god. Wow. You've always got to consider the possibility of an exchange sacrifice. But I don't see a follow-up. There's nothing there. Almost. Wow, that's a resourceful defense. I mean, you're still better, but we didn't want him to keep that light square bishop. Alright. Now, XL Poker becomes Karpov. We getting his king. Yeah, I mean, it may not be that much of a factor till later, but you gotta give him credit. XL Poker is satisfied with just a small edge here. This is a killer. So here's an interesting position. Yeah, if he takes with the bishop, you know, his white squares are weak. That knight is so good, though. It's holding your queen hostage. Yeah. I don't know what to suggest here. Maybe he just does the double exchange. Maybe he exchanges once and lets you take on g6. I mean, he's worse. Clearly worse. Now it's just c-file. This artificially isolates that pawn there. But doesn't he have rook c4? I mean knight c4 here? Are you serious? You have queen a4? You calculated this? He has this? What are you going to do? Here? But he has like bishop takes d3. Bishop takes d3. This is interesting though. But this is kind of interesting. And you have queen b5. And maybe you're just better all the way, like without anything fancy here. It's possible you don't need to sack anything. Indo Queen 1750. Hey, what's up? The Indo Queen. Arsenal fan. Checking CPL in this game. The other game. Bishop takes d3, bishop takes d3, knight b2. Yeah, that's an interesting line. Nice to see you, Indo Queen. How's it going? Yeah, we do this on Thursdays. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to look at chess. Some people are real calculation based, but this is a positional game. A nice positional game by XL Poker. But black, if you go here, I mean, you could sack the exchange, but I'm not sure if you have enough compensation. Probably. But I wouldn't do it unless I had to. Let's just see what the computer says. Yeah, he should go for it, and you should play queen a4. He has a sneaky move here. Holy crap. Bishop e8. Now you have to sack the exchange. Wow. You gotta give the guy credit for that g5 move, saving his late square bishop. So now you sack the exchange for a pawn. You have a strong center, but I agree that black might be fractionally better here. I was wondering why you're not streaming. Alright. I haven't seen you stream in a long time. Knight b2? That's pretty weird. So black plays rook f7. You know, keep in mind, this is like a blitz game or rapid. What is the time control? Yeah. 7 plus 10 or something like that. 15 plus 10. So what happened here with black? Black played rook f7. Why did he play rook f7? Not a tactically oriented player if he doesn't find knight c4. I don't really get rook f7. Like, what does that do? Not to say I know what to do for black, but this is kind of a weird move that doesn't seem to serve a purpose. Yeah, it's like he's protecting c7. I don't know, maybe he's like protecting c7 so he can get his queen off it or something. It's weird. Yeah, I can't obviously watch American-based streamers when they're late streams. Wait, when they're late streams I could, if it's late enough, I guess. Super late. Knight d6. I used to stream from the US too, but it's been 4 years ago, unfortunately. Knight e4. You gotta admit, knight b2 was a weird move by XL Poker. What do you got for me? Knight b2, knight a4, knight c3, knight b5? Or knight d1, knight c3? He blocked his own bishop e8 over there with black. Oh, you just take on b6. Okay, you know me, man. I'm the master of anti-tactics. I don't look for anything blatant like that. I also forgot that he undefended his rook on c8 with rook f7. Another like fantastic point of rook f7 was like making it possible for you to do this tactic. It's funny. Now he does that. So here you also have the obvious bishop b5. To be honest with you, I love messing around with exchange sacrifices, and this is definitely sound. But again, if I can win simply without anything crazy happening, you know, it's better to keep it simple. So this pressure is really, really good here, and I think like if you go bishop b5, I mean, what's he gonna do? You know, he's gonna have to give up at some point. I mean, what is he gonna do? Just simply bishop b5. Does he have this? Some kind of crazy tactic? No. That's never gonna work. That can't work, right? Knight takes c5. We just take on c5 twice. Yeah, I think Excel Poker here can just play it simple, you know. Knight takes a4, queen a4, and you're threatening nothing. No, rook takes b6 actually, not even. You're threatening nothing immediately, but the pressure is undeniable, you know. I think he's lost here, but you played the exchange sack, which is a little riskier. Petrosian would approve. You have a pawn, better structure, you know, safer king. It's hard for him to use his rooks, you know, but I think like a really, really strong defender would probably hold this. Petrosian versus Petrosian would be like a draw or something. Maybe not, but it's not easy to win either. You pick off the a pawn. Does he have to drop the a pawn? Well, I guess so. Stupid question. His queen's attacked and a pawn's attacked, and he can't protect both, so that answers that. Queen e7 takes. You got two pawns for the exchange, but only one passer. So it's like a Sicilian exchange sack. a4. You don't want your queen to get trapped. Yeah, you have like no losing chances. Now which way do we take? You've got to play quickly in a blitz style situation. I'm not sure. This is another target. He'll definitely play g4. I'm surprised he didn't play g4 here. But you have rook a1. Oof. g4 rook a1. g4 rook a1 is game over. So black's in serious trouble now. If the d5 pawn falls, it's definitely too much. And you played g4, stopping him from playing g4. Rook a1. And now the question is, man, I hate giving up that b5 pawn. You have very close to winning attack. But how does it work? I was wondering about rook a8 check, king g7, knight e6, king h6. There's nothing there. So you just take on c4. Right. Right. Now he's in big trouble. Ooh. Going into the minor peace endgame, down 2 pawns. Not an option. Well, he can't lose his rook. You know, so I guess he has to play something like this. He lost patience here. I guess rook b2. You have knight e6 though. That looks really nasty. Actually, maybe he has to cover the back rank then. What? Why not check first with rook? Like this? It's definitely an option. But black has king g7. There's no mate or anything. You know, you can play knight e6 check, but he's walking out here. There's nothing like to make me think like white can win directly. So he saw that and tried to play it safe. White has no risk here whatsoever. But I guess black has to play like rook b8, for example. But you're 2 pawns up and you're gonna get the exchange back. So you should be winning, but objectively black shouldn't trade rooks. You know, this is really fundamental. I mean, you're down 2 pawns. He sort of panicked here. But now it's going to be relatively easy for white to win. If the rooks are still on the board, it's a little bit complicated. Now it should be pretty straightforward. 5 pawns against 3. There's no way that black's going to hold on. You know, I would prefer not to let him like get near my pawns, but I guess it probably doesn't matter ultimately. Black should try. It doesn't matter. I mean, you should be winning. 3 connected past pawns. Ugh. Yeah, this was a long analysis. Yeah, it's looking bad. These are too strong. Family of pawns. Yeah. Alright, man. Good game. No, you played very solid strategic chess there. Until the exchange sack. And that was totally sound. Alright, this is Arsenal fan versus Mischuk. Mrs. Mischuk. Game 3 for today. I found that you're quite decent, and I mean that in the best possible way, as a player on the white side of the Rui. I probably played this against you. Yeah, you played d3. Yeah, this is the topical variation today. I haven't been playing the Schliemann Blitz lately, and I haven't been playing e4, so I got to refresh my memory here. But if I remember correctly, black usually exchanges. I've seen this on a rare occasion. Pankratov there played it. And then knight f6 is supposed to be bad. So I guess this is pretty much like automatic. Take. Now knight f6. I'm thinking like I've seen people play bishop c5 right away. Josef Klinger. Might be playable. But knight f6 is normal. Arsenal is white here. And so now, queen d3. I've probably played mostly queen d3. Let me see. I have 3 games with queen d3, 2 with castles. You think e4 games are boring? Who said that? I mean, I don't remember like whether castles or queen d3 is the main move. I feel like castles. I'm answering my own question. Castles is a good score. Queen d3 has a good score, but it's less common. I'm not an expert here, as most of you know. So castles, and now black has d6 or bishop c5, and this I don't honestly know. Which of these moves is better for black? Because look at the statistics. Like, seriously. Bishop c5 and d6, they're almost a mirror image of each other statistically. The very slightest variation. 38% wins for white, 39, 19, 20% wins for black. It's practically the same, so I have no idea what to recommend, like bishop c5 or d6 for black. You know, all I know is like bishop c5 is, it feels more active and it's more commonly played. I remember looking at this from black's perspective. Yeah, there's a possibility of knight takes c5. It's a really crazy line. So bishop takes c6, b takes c6, knight takes c5, castles. I was prepared to play this at some point. I'm trying to remember what game it was. There's some recent game, Caruana Nakamura from 2022. Rajabov was playing it for a while with black. I don't know. But it feels like, you know, it doesn't feel dynamic to do that. That's the main line. So I guess queen d3. What have I played here? Just one game. I've only got one game here with queen d3. But queen d3 is nothing special. But bishop c4, your move, it looks good. Definitely a variation. I mean, does black have like knight a5 in some scenarios? If I defend my e-pawn? Right, and that's why you played a3. So your opponent is you know, my experience is that black generally wants to like get you off this diagonal if possible. Of course, knight a5 would be a very awkward move for black. I don't have any games here, right? No. I mean, e4 is hanging, but you can't take it because of queen d5. With that in mind, a3 is fine. But a3 feels slow, Arsenal. But maybe like bishop c4 inherently isn't the sharpest, although it looks aggressive. It does cost time. Time is money. Queen d3 may be like a little more aggressive. But bishop c4 looks good. So this is a new move, a3. Okay, first question of business. Isn't bishop g4 a problem? Isn't that a common idea anyway in this line? Well, keep in mind that black could theoretically castle queenside. That's a good point of a3, though. I mean, it does support a possible sort of semi-pawn storm on the queen side. It could support b4 in the future. But I would be mostly concerned about this. I mean, doesn't this happen in the normal lines? I mean, that's one of the reasons why white plays queen d3. You might end up having to play it anyway. Yeah, the computer recommends queen d3 as response to bishop g4. Well, I mean, black can play bishop h5, bishop f7, and trade off your bishop. Or possibly bishop g6. But are you going to like weaken your king side with g4? It's like, are you sure you want to do that? I'm not sure I want to play g4. it's probably too weakening. So you might end up having to do this. Alright, so he plays this, but d5 is unoccupied. So your opponent is flirting with trouble, you know, by promoting like bishop g5, knight d5. That might be a serious mistake. The computer actually likes queen e7. It's one of its top moves. Apparently there's also this. Blobix, welcome. Knight d4, just trading pieces. Actually, that's a good idea. No, I think the fault of Arsenal's setup is that it's just a little bit slow. It's okay, but it's a little bit time-consuming. Bishop c4 and a3. But it's playable. Queen e7, knight c3, and now what? Oh, we transposed to a game. Black actually played a6 here. Who has time for a6? How do you have time for a6? My god, man. No, I like your opponent's move better. This is at least a semblance of activity. He's now got knight d4, and you're threatening knight d5. So if he plays knight d4 and you play knight d5, where does that leave us? You're telling me like he has nowhere to go? This didn't happen in the game. Regardless of an exchange on f3, black has a problem. I guess he has to go back to d8. Well, that answers that question. He'll have to go back to d8. Probably has to go back to d8. Unless... I don't know, we can do this first. Let's say bishop takes, pawn takes, queen d8. Or queen d7. Trying to play like queen h3. You win a piece if he takes on f3? Really? How's that? How are you winning a piece? Oh, with the knight. Okay. Yeah. No, bishop takes. I just thought there was a chance like his queen could sneak down in here. Try to mate you. We'll see what the oracle says. Yeah, this is the variation. Queen d7. This is crazy, man. This would lead to really insane complications. The engine thinks you're better. Wow. Yeah, c3. This is really insane. Knight takes d5. C takes d4. Unbelievable. You're better in all lines, but not winning, according to the computer. Close to winning. But it's very sharp. I can't believe he didn't play knight d4 there. So the question is, okay, I guess he wanted to put his queen on f8. Makes sense. I guess he couldn't calculate the other line, or it was too complicated. He was like, screw it, you know. I'm gonna do it this way. Yeah, I mean, it's not easy to calculate that. Yeah, this is getting pretty complicated. I guess bishop b6. Now h3. Wow, can you do that? Is that legal? Now Arsenal plays queen d3. What about something here for black. Anything. Knight takes d5. Did he have this? You know, if you take here, he has knight f4, right? And you're like lost. You wouldn't be able to do it that way. You have to take back. Well, yeah, it's interesting. I mean, you're still like attacking his rook. So you're not in trouble or anything. You've got to be better, I guess. So he did what? Bishop takes f3. Yeah, I don't know why that move like bothers me. He's gonna play knight d4 with tempo. I mean, it's a pity to see his late square bishop go, but I guess he had no choice. Now he does knight takes d5. You know, so it sort of boiled down to this positional end game, shall we say. And there's some pressure on the F file at the end of the day. He played pretty well. Knight e6. He's almost up to your standard arsenal, I would say. He managed to hold you to an even game here. Bishop takes e6. I feel like you have to do it. It's kind of a pity, though. This still could get sharp. It's a pity to trade for that knight, isn't it? Maybe it's a mistake. No, but I mean, I think that's our question. Maybe somehow we could give up the other bishop for it, like here. It's not realistic, is it? I mean, the question is, do we have like a4, man? If we go into opposite color bishops, it's going to be sharp. But if you have a4 and you're threatening a5, like winning his bishop, it looks kind of dangerous for him. He probably has to play c6 now, seriously. And then you could play, man, it could get pretty crazy. You could play a5, bishop c7. I don't think you're worse here, although you do have to watch this. Can he play what? a5? Oh, maybe. I don't think so. Too dangerous. Nah, he's probably toast here. I doubt it. I think you got rook b1. Or maybe he doesn't take back. Nah, he's lost here. I don't think he can do it. This is interesting. You know, let's see what the oracle says. This gives up this guy, but maybe you should go the other way. Oh wow, a4. Leaving your bishop hanging. Jeez, I thought you were better. Wow, the computer thinks you're winning. Alright, bishop takes e6. My problem was that I'm afraid this is going to come under attack. Well, I guess the way you played it is okay. I like the other way better. Alright, a4. See, he can't go a5. Most likely. Well, I think the problem was you're playing a title player, so you played safely. I still want to see my variation with bishop e3 right away. Knight f4. See, the computer doesn't like it. See, the computer's going into this. But this is a different story, dude. You're better here. I like this. This feels like pretty safe for white. to be honest. This isn't bad. I think that's pretty tricky. You know, you're better in that position, that opposite color bishop situation. It's hard to evaluate that. But the computer thinks you're fine here. I was concerned that it's just like nothing for you. Do you have a better move though? A4. Yeah, I was afraid of rook g6. But I guess I'm afraid of ghosts. A5's too strong. Wow. A5 is just too strong. Yeah, so you gave him too much credit. You played very safely with bishop e3. Now you're going to run into, like, you know, the danger of a title player maybe being to out-technique you in an endgame or something. Wow. F4 is risky. But I understand why you played it, you know, and it might even be the best move. I doubt it, though. I think you got to play for, like, c5 now. If you think about the pawn structure, like, logically, this is gone. This kind of, like, pawn storm is gone. F4 is anti-positional, but you're going to stop his f-file crap. The cost of having a backward pawn. But maybe you should play like it's a King's Indian here, you know? Let him have the f-file crap, but you're coming through with, like, c5. This actually looks, like he's a little slow on the attack, like to triple up or whatever. The computer still likes a4. Oh shit, it's gonna go like alpha 0 with a6 on him. Now this is still dangerous. Wow, a4 as slow as it looks. If he allows a6, it's dangerous. But I think no, c4 is not bad. Yeah, the computer is like groveling for a draw with the queen trade. In any case, like, you're definitely better. I think f4 is a mistake. You panicked with f4. You can't be better after f4. Now you're, like, fighting for a draw in an active way. Not sure if that was his best move or not. I think I would triple up here. Can he play like rook e8? Wow. Thought you were you were worse here. But the engine thinks that black is better. I mean, white is better. Rook takes. You still have sort of back rank. Amazing. Yeah, probably like one tempo, like a6, and he would be better here. If he just didn't have that back rank weakness. No, this is a draw. Now you both have a pawn weakness. g4 is kind of risky, man. I don't feel like you should do that. You know, that's kind of a dangerous move, man. I don't think I would do that. I would play like rook f4 or something and make sure my e-pawn's protected and I've got this. g4 is really, really risky with two heavy pieces on the board. Feels like. But I see your point. You can take on f6 here now. Now it's a different story. Now you're fine. He's got to be careful. You have b5. I mean, you got to be careful. He has b5. Always misspeaking. I could lose this. This has got to be a mistake. Don't you have to play like rook g7 now? Well, I guess not. This will hold. Barely. I like how he really tried to squeeze you. Yeah. All right. Good game. Yeah, maybe he could have played b5 at some point. Asturbate's up next. Guys, I got another hour to stream here. Blobix with the game. Inner clubs. January. Sveshnikov. Oh no. Hey Blobix, you didn't send us that before? You showed us this. No, we already went over that game. What? Is a different one? Are you serious? Are you serious? The same variation with Queen H5? Oh my god. That's insane. Alright. What, did he like see the other game and copy it? That's crazy. Queen H5 is like a horrible move. I was showing that position to someone else. Wait, tools, analysis board. Paste. Guys, don't forget to support the stream. Get the big donations in there. Why is this not working? Okay. Import game, yes. Study. Alright, so we've got Asturbate, Schumacher, Mule Skinner, and Blobix. Asturbate, always a kind of fun miniature. The Vienna with Bishop C5. And we have the King's Gambit declined. This is kind of like the same thing as XL Poker's game. It's like your game, XL Poker. Except Asturbate's ready to play D4, whereas you couldn't play E4 in response to D takes C. It's a Queen's Gambit on the other side. Check. Not a good move in this situation. I mean, this exists as a variation in the King's Gambit, right? You can do like Queen H4 check, G3, Queen E7. I guess it's not good. But maybe that version is better. Bishop C5, F4, Queen H4 check, G3. And now, I mean, the only square that makes sense is E7. But you have a problem. I mean, you're already on knight C3. So, yeah, he's like screwed. Black's just screwed immediately. Wow. It's like lost. I mean, what's he supposed to play? Everything is lost for black here. Because Queen E7 allows knight D5. Is that necessarily lost? I guess it doesn't matter. I mean, you've got to consider knight to D5. Either way, I mean, does black end up going here? This looks horrible, but what's the best move for white? Where's the win? What's white's best winning move here? I'm sure that white has many ways to gain the advantage, but there doesn't seem to be like a killer move. Let's see if he follows the rules. Look for captures. Alright, Queen H4 check, G3. So far he hasn't moved the same piece twice. I told him today, you need to have like a Asturbate, you've got to have like a sort of like a chess conscience that tells you like you're moving the same piece twice. Don't do that, you know. This feels like a bad move. Don't do that. D4 even wins. Maybe. This might be a strong move. Oh, you mean in the final position after knight D5? Oh, like here? Yeah, he needs a browser page warning. That's funny how you think of that. Too many porno sites? Alright, queen f6, knight f3. This is nice. It's like straightforward. You're not jumping the gun with knight d5. You didn't cave and play pawn takes pawn, allowing mate on that too. Oh, that would be so sick. I didn't even stop to think about it. I mean, this is my naivety, but I assume, like, you know, black's playing like bishop c5, queen h4, and queen f6, and I'm thinking, oh, he's protecting e5. Imagine if Astromate hung the mate there. I'm like trying to control the center, but that's not an option. Yeah, I was looking primarily at knight d5. The thing about knight d5 is he can't play queen e6. I think in a different day Astromate might have played this, but the question is what happens after queen d6. You got a lot of good moves. Now you can take, but the problem is, like, you have a timeout because this is hanging now with check. You know, you'll have to settle for something like lame, like d3 or queen e2 or something, objectively. White's going to have to settle for some kind of timeout, you know. Alright, whatever. Knight f3, e takes f4. Yeah, dude. You're going to be sacrificing a piece very soon. d4. Nice move. Bishop e4. Now, no wasting time. You can take with the pawn on f4. Bishop takes seems better. Developing. And now black takes unprovoked. Very nice development for white. Now d6 is surprisingly solid move from this guy. And he's clearly looking at this pin here. Pseudo pin. So, where do we go? You know, this feels like classic What's Up Move 11. The founder. Our only active non-troll founder. I mean, this is like an old Astromate who used to overextend himself. E5, you know, you gotta look at it. It's a forcing move. But as far as moving the light square bishop, like, where do you put it here? Bishop d3 is the most, you know, it's the most natural, but you are going to have to watch bishop g4. I can't believe the guy didn't play bishop g4. It's a perfect one-move cheapo. You know, you're threatening bishop takes f3 and g5. Actually, it doesn't work. Yeah. So even in just like here, you just take, and on g5 you have e5. When this guy's cheapo, stop working. You know, it's time. This is dangerous. But, you know, the very minimum we have this. I like this variation. Defending c3. Like slicing slicing off that diagonal. It's horrible for black. It's totally lost. So he didn't do that. He did bishop h3, preventing you from castling. And now I'm looking at castling queenside. Here Astromate couldn't resist. But I would make a case for one more move of development. Is there time? Is there necessity? Or is this too much of a red flag? You know, queen e2 is so standard in these positions. Obviously you could go to d2 as well. It's worth considering. Queen d2. You also have to look at knight g5. But you're probably just going to make him, you know, go back to a sensible location. I want to develop, but you played e5. The problem is we can't castle, so maybe you're going to have to put the king on d2, artificial castling. I wonder what Astromate would have done if pawn takes pawn. Would he have played Knight takes, queen e2, bishop takes e5. Yeah, he has knight g5 in that line. But I'm curious what he would have done here. Pawn takes, bishop takes, knight takes, queen e2. There is a sort of mate on d8 shaping up here with pawn takes, but it's unlikely to happen. It's difficult to judge, but this move is okay. Black played queen e6, and now you have that. And now bishop e2 doesn't do anything. So he took the bishop. Give me that. I like castling queenside. I vote for castling queenside. This is a nice move. Now black lost his mind completely. But I guess he doesn't really have a great move. Black has to play knight c6. I mean, what else are you going to do here? He's lost objectively. I mean, come on. He does that. So, the problem is, man, I mean, you just take this and it's just over. Black doesn't even have time. Does he have time to do this? Objectively, Black's just completely lost, but maybe it's queen c6, losing to bishop b5. I would recapture, and then here you take like the free rook and be done with it, you know? Just go back or something. You just get a free rook. He's not considering all the captures. Yep. He's used a minute and 34 seconds for this game so far. But he was not materialistic enough. You know, now Black has d5. Although he's completely lost, he has some very tiny percentage chance of trying to blockade or something. Yeah, no, White's still super better. At least there's a slim glimmer of hope for Black. He takes here, opening up the position. That's good. Now Asterby played d5, but why? Why d5? This is my least favorite move you played this game, maybe. Well, I mean, obviously queen b7 is crushing. But I think, like, you know, this is kind of tempting, you know. It's hard to not play rook e1. Got all the pieces in the game. You got to complete your development, man. d5. Closing the center. And then bishop takes e5. Man, I would have traded queens here so fast, like you couldn't even... It doesn't even register on the clock. Black is like psyched. He has like a 1% chance of not losing now. Queen takes f3, rook takes f3, and then f6, the pleasant choice of f6 or knight f6. f6, and now c7 goes. So let's count. Now, we're only up one pawn. White has two bishops, powerful passed pawn, extra pawn, more development, safer king, but interesting now. I like this move. He played bishop e5, yeah. Threatening rook e1. Oof, and this isn't gonna help. Yeah. Oof. Oh, he sacked the rook. Oh my god. Well, I don't blame him. Takes, knight e7. This is ugly. Rook e1. Oh. In the blink of an eye, Astrides is mating. Blobix just donated, what, 10 gift subs? What was that? You gifted 10 gift subs from Blobix. Luis Oliveira, Zealot, Charge, Slim MG7, TBA, listen here, HGG, who's a regular, or used to be, the Cheese Mate, we haven't seen in a long time, Dinekis, a regular, Bernard, thank you, man. Blobix, you're awesome. Blobix has a game. Great game, Masturbate. The final move. Rook H4 mate. Blobix, that's awesome, man. Someone's gifting 5. Move 11 is gifting 5. We got 15 gift subs. Move 11 to Will Wolf, Federic, Gita B, Shelly Mays. Shelly Mays gifted us earlier this year a nice donation. And I saw give. Thank you guys. Great game, Masturbate. We see improvement there. That's why Masturbate's a VIP. Move 11, thank you for the gift subs. Thank you guys. Let's get the hype train going. Get the hype train going. I said that already. Next. Alright, we've got an hour left, so 3 more games. Schumacher, Mule Skinner, and Lubix. I just keep getting like gift subs endlessly. It's awesome, guys. Thank you. Alright. We need to do more analysis streams, apparently. We have a small but very generous group of people. Schumacher with white. No doubt it's a blitz game. Wow, 10-minute game for Schumacher. This is like the longest time control he ever plays. D4. King's Indian. And H3. Alright. Bishop E3. C5. The gift subs just keep coming. It's like the gift that just keeps on giving. They register on my OBS like one at a time. Mr. Coffee just gifted a tier 1 sub to Botez Live. I think she thinks she's a poker player now. Or one of them. Botez Live. Nice. Congratulations, Botez Live. Thanks, Mr. Coffee. You love our small community. Me too. I'd like to poker too. Play poker, that is. Every Saturday night. We've got Bishop E3, C5. Alright. This is interesting. Dude, what's up with this? Why do I not recognize this? Guys, we're almost on a hype train. Mr. Coffee with the tier 1 sub brings us... We need 2 more donations. Man, this is freaking me out. I must have played C5 here before. Yeah. It's just weird looking at it from the white side. I've only played the what's it called? What is this variation called with H3? Makaganov. Two times. 0 for 2. I told you guys I lost to Slimy Max Lugi. Wow, something came through. IVYM. IVYM just gifted 5. The hype train is close. All we need is like 1 bit donation or something. IVYM, thank you, Bill. No problem at all. Tiki, Kardesh, Brace, Schuler, Snurl, and Andy One World. Guys, 20 gift subs today, and we need 1 more something to hit the hype train, I think. Mr. Coffee actually just returning the favor. She gifted me a sub to Sabina stream. Uh-oh, Mr. Coffee secretly watching the Botez streams. XL Poker gifting tier 1 sub. So why are we not hitting the hype train? That's 5 donations. Were they not, like, fast enough or something? You have limited time to earn exclusive emotes. Yeah, we do have a hype train. Okay. I don't know, my stream is just... My other screen is, like, slow. It's, like, lagging. To answer your question, no, I guess the pawn sack is good for black. You got queen a5. I had the same game with... No, I'm thinking of something else. I'm thinking of the Averbach variation. Why can't we take the pawn? I don't know. Maybe it's a good sack. But I know, like, a lot of players will play d5 here. And I saw Jay Bonin once, like, do it like a banco. But I don't think, like, h3 is bad against the banco. But I suppose that's playable. Guys, hype train in the house. Thank you for 20 gift subs. 21 gift subs. Move 11. And XL Poker, 22 gift subs. You're about to beat your last record. Keep up the support. 93% of the way to hype level 1. Mr. Coffee with 493. Hype train incoming. XL Poker with 5 gift subs. You've given 5 gift subs. Mr. Coffee, thank you. I don't know, it's a good question. What is up with d takes c5? It's queen a5. Why I never considered playing that with black? Interesting question. I mean, my main concern would be d5, though. You know, I mean, you have to be able to play the Benoni or the Benko to play this. And since I don't really play straight up Benonis, I could never play this in the King's Indian. I'm way behind on the chat. I scrolled back. Thanks to the gift sub for the Botez. I mean, so the problem with takes is black plays queen a5, and you have to defend. And then now it's getting interesting. Wow. Alright. There's no recent games here, which means it probably sucks for black. But people have actually played rook d8 here. Richard Forster. I just saw a Richard Forster game from like 2021 in the Aliakin line we looked at the other day. That guy is still playing interesting stuff. 25 years later. Swiss Grandmaster, right? I never met him. This is interesting, man. Rook d8 looks like an engine move. This looks like serious stuff. This isn't a Benoni. I don't know what this is, man. He drew with Kramling back in '95. And there's a more recent game. Taking out the old Martich. This is very interesting stuff. But the computer likes d takes c5. So this line is apparently fine for black. Yeah, I mean, I was just... People, whenever I've played c5, they've always played d5 against me. And you're just playing the Benoni. I've done this against Schumacher. It's totally playable. But, you know, anyway, he's comfortable with that. You know, there is a weird... Yeah, this knight f3 is kind of weird. I don't understand why Schumacher didn't play d5 here. I mean, I'm sure that he played it against me. I'm 100% sure. It seems weird to play like a Marazzi with h3. I'm okay with black here. This is fine. Though, that became a trend lately. Move 11. h3 in that Marazzi is a thing. I don't know if there's any way that black can specifically take advantage of that. Move 11 with another 500. We're about to beat. We got it up. We got it. Hype train success. For some reason, my hype train like notifications are really late. Hype train complete. Level 2, 100%. Thanks to Move 11. Marazzi, spelled like Italian. Marazzi. Why does that look weird? No, that's correct, actually. Your spelling is correct. Why does that look weird to me? Marazzi. That's correctly spelled. Hungarian. Not a common Hungarian name. I don't think I've ever seen anyone else named Marazzi. It's funny. Must just be an old name and uncommon. I mean, it's a typical Hungarian ending, but I've never heard of another Marazzi. Okay, whatever. So this is the game. Yeah, Schumacher, I think you should play d5. But this may be okay for white. This is definitely not right. Every game I look at today is like a no to your back game. Famous last words. Maybe bishop d3 is not bad. Schumacher plays it and I say it sucks. And then I see like no to your back plays it and I'm like, oh yeah. I mean, I'm just not used to seeing the pawn on h3. You know, this would normally not be an option. The d5 is okay. That's not a problem. That's an acerbate move. Moving the same piece, same piece twice, master. Black, black's not gonna solve the problems that way. Is knight g4 or something? Just take with the h pawn. Yeah, this is a thing for white. It's interesting. Bishop d3 is interesting. How about we transpose to the German IM variation? Bishop d7, castles. How does it go now? Knight takes d4, bishop takes d4, bishop c6, queen c2. During the COVID, there were these Hungarian all-star tournaments, and I don't remember who the guy was, but it was some German IM who played this against me, and I had no idea that queen c2 was like a theoretical move. And now it's all the rage. Look at all these games. Apparently it's been all the rage, and I just didn't know it till 2019. All these games since like the last 3 or 4 years. So that's another possibility. But bishop e3 is not stupid. It is a bad bishop, but h3 covers g4. It's a bishop substitute. It's a veggie burger. h3 is a veggie burger. It's a pawn that pretends to be, it's like a burger, a veggie burger pretending to be meat. It's pretending to be a bishop. It's doing the job of the bishop by controlling g4. It's a meat substitute. I know that sounds weird. We talked about this earlier with acerbate. Bishop takes, and now... Well, is white ever going to castle queenside here? No, I don't think so. So, how should black set up? e4 is well protected, there's no b5. e4 is well protected, bishop d7, bishop c6 doesn't make that much sense, maybe? I have a crazy idea here. Crazy is as crazy does. I told you guys about the delivery app suggestion. What do you guys think about bishop h6? Is this crazy? You're crazy. This is my suggestion to you, dear friend. Mr. Player with the black pieces. Refute that shit. No, this looks good. Dude, I mean, the dark square bishop is white's star piece. Without that, I mean... Okay, it's not going to be able to, we're not going to be able to play f5. Well, we can play it, but we're just sacking a pawn. I still would take black here. The engine gives white a very small plus. But he's going to have a small plus anyway. He already had a small plus. I just point you to the analysis engine. Bishop h6 is falling out. No, it's top 2. Very similar example I saw, I think was with move 11 recently. Yeah, I like bishop h6. This is a smart move here. This is too routine, but it's playable. Basically, black's playing it like what's he called? Gergi needs a variation. That's what he does, rook e1, but I was thinking obviously f4 has to be considered. I don't know, man. Knight d5 looks... It looks like it trades too much. I would think f4, f5 is our plan. I mean, we're going to do f5. What does black do? This? And then we have to defend this again? Could get very tactical. I mean, there's some crazy variations that are very similar to this. Yeah, knight h5 could happen in this case. But I don't really trust black's king side 100%. It's interesting. So you played like more conservatively with rook e1. Black played rook c8. I mean, I don't know. I don't really like knight d5. It leads to massive simplification. I mean, he's 300 points higher and a draw is like okay. But I feel like you should test black with b3. I mean, he can't play b5, can he? It doesn't work. I mean, this is protected here. Fundamentally, you shouldn't exchange pieces when you have a space advantage. That's why I didn't like Blobix's suggestion of knight d5. If he can't play b5, he can't free himself. He's going to have to play like knight d7 or something to try to trade pieces. I mean, knight d5 is okay. Black can also play knight takes d5, obviously. And bishop takes here. You know, it's important that you have like knight e3 covered, by the way. Because rook takes. But frankly, maybe this is the way that black should play it, no? This looks pretty safe for black. Knight takes. Bishop takes g7 is forced. Then we just play this. White takes. You know, there's no rook there. And then king takes, and white is only like an itty bitty tiny bit better, if anything. But bishop takes d5. It's like playing for a win. Although black's subjectively worse. You could take either way here. Bishop g7 is forced. I don't know. I assumed it was forced. But that was a bad assumption. No, it's not forced. Wow. So you could play a different move. Yeah, you could play pawn takes. That's true. I don't know, though. Bishop takes d4. If we take here, there's this. Pretty complicated. b7 as well. Here. Yeah, I don't trust it. Black's trading the dark square bishop. Going for like knight against bishop, but white's always a little better here. But it's not easy for a human to play this type of position. The engine would never ever lose this position with white against God. I think that black actually should probably set up, you know, a blockade with the a5. This is ambitious. Not the safest way to play it for sure. Wow. And now he took. And he can't recapture. So now white is a little better. No, objectively you're not winning or anything, but maybe you could mate him. You could try to set up some kind of attack on the king side here. Objectively black should be okay. I like the centralized queen. He gets greedy. This is really greedy. He goes for the pawn there. It's plus 1. I was thinking maybe rook c7. But you do have attacking chances. This looks pretty unpleasant for black. Yeah, I don't like what he did here. He shouldn't have given up control of c5. I mean, I'm telling you guys, the first thing I said was king takes, you need to play a5. So he can't play a5, A. He can't play a5, there's no time because of queen takes here. And a rook e8, you played b4. But I mean, maybe he should play like a5 at least. a5, a3, perhaps something like queen b6. Not to let you roll with c5 so easily. One thing I'll do oftentimes is, you know, use my queen on the dark squares. Maybe the queen can activate. He has to play on the dark squares. I don't like the way he allowed you to play c5. And it took your bad bishop because your bishop was better than his knight. This is greedy. And black, I guess, realized he's just worse. But is he lost here? Seems like he should be okay. But he can't blockade the pawn on the 7th. There's no way to stop d7. So apparently Arsenal's suggesting queen e6, threatening to blockade the 7th. It looks like as good a try as any. And if d7, rook d8. Smells like it's a draw to me. It looks like black's gonna hold this. Rook c7. I mean, you're not worse though, even though you're down a pawn. He's got to be really careful. I mean, if you play certain situation like queen c3, you have queen c3 with the threat of rook c8, for example. No, that doesn't work. Yeah, the engine likes black a little bit better, but I still don't think that it's. I think it's a draw. It should be a draw. Your pawn is too strong. So what did he do? Rook d8, queen f6 here. d7. Now he's blockading in the wrong place. Oof. That's a nice move. And bam. You also have the cute. You gotta play queen d8, man. I can't believe you didn't play queen d8. That's much cuter. He just did the routine. Rook c8. Alright. Nice game. So next is Mule Skinner and Blobix. Let's do Blobix because Blobix is here. Unless Mule Skinner is out there. Doesn't matter when we do his game. If Mule Skinner is not in the audience, I'm going to do Blobix first. Chapter 8. Black. It's the cheap variation. This variation costs 10 gift subs. So Blobix sent the exact same variation 2 weeks ago. Mainline Sveshnikov, bishop f6, gf6, knight d5. And, yeah. Bishop g7 and f5 are the main lines. So f5. And then I never played this with white. I've always played like c3 or e takes f5. But the main line is bishop d3. Blavik showed the exact same game, as I said. Now this is a bluff. Bluffy, bluffy. So the point of this is that knight c7 doesn't work, basically. You don't remember I sent this line 2 weeks ago? I was drunk for sure. Are you telling me it's the same game after all that you showed us before? Well, I don't know if it was exactly 2 weeks ago. It might have been 3 weeks ago. But the point is, like, knight c7 apparently is bad. That's the main point. Knight c7 like loses for white. Always check your Halloween candy for poison. When like a master plays queen g5 against you, just don't plonk down knight c7 without like calculating what's happening. Knight c7, king d8. Yeah, it's very dangerous for white. There's an overwhelming attack. But very strangely, there's another move here. Queen g5. No, it's not queen h5. I'm trying to remember now. White has a strong move here. Is it just castles? There's a secret move for white. Maybe it's castles. The invisible move is e takes f5. Ah. E takes f5, apparently. Yes. Yes. No one can find it. It's the invisible move. So apparently e takes f5 is like the refutation. So Blavik is like playing this line even though he knows it's bad. Right. And yeah. So you can't take on g2 because of bishop e4 and knight f6 check. And you're still threatening the knight c7. Exactly. Oh, it's check. That doesn't work. I'm lying. Sorry, guys. E takes f, queen takes. We can't play bishop e4. You have to play knight f6 check first. My bad. That's my invisible. Alright. So you have to play the knight f6 check first. And then the question is where you put the king. Presumably, I guess, king d8. But now bishop e4. And Chess Engine says that white's like better. I guess this is hanging. It's just a knight, it's no big deal. Yeah. Blavik is scamming people. He stole this from Thor Arneson in 1978. Who played it first, you or Thor Arneson? So queen g5 and then this move. This is the funniest move ever. Now I don't know which way, and Blavik doesn't know which way is better. It's actually an interesting question. It's hard to judge like where the king is better, on e7 or d8. My argument was that if you put the king on e7, you get in the way of the bishop. There's a lot of variations if you play this, where this is going to come in and this bishop is going to come in on the f8 diagonal. Blavik says king e7 is better, so therefore he plays king e7. Knight h5. Now, are you telling me this is a different game? It looks familiar. Black has everything. This is the same game. He was just drunk when he submitted it last time. I have to say, honestly, Bobix, the game is so good, it's worth going over twice. It is worth looking at twice. And for the people who missed it the first time, yeah, I don't know, man. I think, like, you know, you should send this to Agad Mator. All the legendary streamers. Oh, man, you'll be viral. F3. I like White's control of E4. That YouTube chess streamer guy from Croatia, who's very popular. I'm just kidding. I didn't mean it seriously. D4. And then, what's happening here, by the way? White played A4. But I don't remember, like, the first time going over this. What happens on a capture here again? Why can't White take that? Oh, there's the mate on C1. How does this work? Rook F3, Rook F3, Knight F3, Knight here. Well, not mate, but, you know, you have this penetration with Rook C1. I have no idea. I assume this is winning, but I'm not sure 100%. Basically, White is, like, down a rook. That's probably not good. My assumption is that, okay, that's enough. So White played A4. It's like the Marshall to try to get his rook out. And he does successfully, you know, activate the rook along the A file, I guess. But it cost him his light square bishop. This is a nice pin. And this was a team game in January. I'd love to play a game like this. This is epic. And now you're winning the exchange. And he actually, you know, takes his time here. That's the good thing about being a composition master. You know how to take your time and analyze positions. Not just playing bullet chess mindlessly. This is nice, though. I'm glad we got to see it a second time. Time to resign. And then a cute mate. The composition master always finds the cutest mate to torture his opponents. Threatening this. And we'll notice that White has no stalemate, no checks. Just rook b7. Very clean. If you move the rook anywhere else, let's say rook a5, you're just getting mated in two here. And if you go further, rook a3 or something, then I suppose we just go here. And you got him in the net, so to speak. Oh, you're suggesting rook h6? No. Really? That ruins all our fun. That appears to ruin all of our fun. We've got a mating net? We've still got a mating net, yeah. Check, here, and then mate. Yeah, it's all with check. Very good. Thanks, Blobix, for the gift subs. We'll always go over your games a second time. That is an awesome game, though. It makes you inspired to play the Sveshnikov and use, like, cheapos that are refuted. Recycle cheapos. Mule Skinner, your game is up. Is what's up. Mule Skinner number 2. I have to grab it. Alright. This is our last game for today. Inbox. Mule Skinner. Thanks. Inbox is full. Where is it? Oh no, I deleted it. Oh my god. No, here it is. Alright, a game for today. Game 2. Okay, game 2. We're in game 2. Andalusia. Are these like FIDE ratings? I was thinking Blavix. There's no way a second player would play Queen H5 against you. Alright. He's higher than 1700, but he has a habit of like blowing winning positions against like junior players and stuff. That's crazy. 4 players play Queen H5 against you. We are white here. Okay, E4, C5, Knight C3. Knight C6, F4. Alright, so maybe you can help coach we can help coach Acerbate, who's been struggling with his trying to transition to playing the Grand Prix attack. Wow. My biggest problem is E6. I used to think that G6 is better, but now I'm not so sure. E6. What do we do against E6? Knight F3. I've been playing D5 against Acerbate. What did we have now? No, I played a different line. I played E6 right away. That was it. E6, F4, D5. Different variation. So here we have Knight C6, F4, D6. So what's up with that move order? He's allowing you to play like a Bishop C4 setup, like a Najdorf player would, or a Dragon player would, with the Knight C6 in. So black is supposed to play, Gelfand would play G6 here. In French, it's the Grand Prix, I guess. Acerbate's trying to be funny. Not sure about that, Acerbate. Grande, I don't know, that might be at Starbucks only. Yeah, D6, Knight F3, okay. E6, what is that? Why E6? That is a bad move. Yeah, I mean, you just have to do G6 at this point. E6 doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't see the point. If you want to be really weird, maybe Bishop D7. Is this not a single game with Bishop D7? It's playable. I think I like it better than E6, to be honest. Because the idea would be to play G6 anyway, so you might as well. Alright, E6, Bishop C4. It's funny, like a lot of games here with Bishop B5. But that doesn't necessarily seem that great for white. You can transpose to a good open Sicilian with D4 though. I mean, this line is of course decent for white. I think, was it like Kamsky played this or something? Is there this? Some really weird shit. But unusual move order. Anyway, Bishop C4. Okay, we're gonna have to watch out for D5 in the future. So I don't know what black's supposed to do. I would assume Knight F6. Yeah, now Mule Skinner is experienced, so he doesn't panic with the a4 that a lot of people reflexively play. I'm not sure a4 is such a good move. I mean, ultimately, the thing is, like, the Grand Prix attack is based on center and king side. We're trying to attack here. And playing a4 weakens white on the queen side. You're playing on the opponent's strong side. I'm not sure that a4 is always the right move, Asterbate. So d3 is sensible. That seems right. Knight a5. Now he goes out on the rim with knight a5 to hit that bishop. That's no problem. But we have to make it. We have to make a choice here. Are we gonna let you take let him take on c4, or do you want to go bishop b3? It's absolutely okay to allow knight takes c4, but I think it's also okay, you know, to put the bishop on b3. I think the tempo might be relevant though. Probably we don't waste the tempo. So castles, and now if he takes on c4, we have good pressure on the d file. Knight takes c4 was great for black, according to the engine. We'll ask. No, great for white. Yeah. I would be afraid to play this for black. You're about to get it, you know, f5'd. I mean, there is a plus side in taking out this bishop, but black's really far behind in development. That's about all the options you've got, though. Castles, b5, bishop b3. There's a game here with Thomas Luther as black. That's a bad sign. Why is a decent grandmaster playing this with black? But whatever. I still like white here. Black has like very little development. c4 is not a threat. So Luther just took on b3. A takes b, and bishop b7. But I think that this is a standard position and white is just better. You know, here it's interesting, this guy played queen e1, but that's not a no-brainer. It's like there's no fianchetto on the king side, so white probably played too slowly. I mean, Mule Skinner is an expert. Antonio is like an expert in this type of position too. I mean, is f5, like, is this really okay for black? Are you kidding me? How many games have I lost to, like, Morales and Mule Skinner in this type of position? In the game, white played this, which is probably okay, but are you sure? Like, because the queen might be good on this diagonal as well. The engine actually likes queen e1. What's wrong with f5? It wants to play e takes f5, queen e1, but I'm telling you, I'm not sure. Because I like this diagonal too. E takes f5, e takes f5. We're not going to take back on f5. I want alpha 0 now to analyze this position. Queen e2. He's starting to come up with shit when it gets deep enough. Well, anyway, I mean, definitely, I don't trust black's position. Maybe it's playable. So this actually happened in your game as well. And now he went queen e1, exactly like this guy, Ali Akbar. And now b4. This looks exactly like one of my games with Morales. Or Mule Skinner, I don't remember which one. Morales plays the bishop b5 lines, but that's actually quite similar to this. That guy plays at the poker club. Queen e1, b4. He looks like a lobster. Like a human lobster. This is definitely a possibility. We've seen that a lot. Acerbate with the favorite maneuver to e2. Knight d5. No, not here, friend. That's not enough. Not in this case. That's too much. No. I could even play like king d7. Not gonna fly here, friend. Knight d1. Knight d1's okay. I like this recycling. Knight e7. The point is f5. For the gift sub, for the Botez sisters, Knight d5, man. For all the serious chess players out there, thank you guys for your support. Yeah, Knight e7, I hate this move, but I mean, I've been tortured in this kind of position a lot already by this guy and others. And Yul Skinner has a good position here, there's no doubt. Black would like to play f5, that's never going to happen. And he finally does it. Man, this is like Gawain Jones 101. Mark Hebden, Gawain Jones 101. f5. Do you remember when Yellow Dragoon crushed me with these type of systems too? All three of you guys have gotten some nasty stuff. I've had some really bad games against Morales where this happened, this structure. On the surface, you're like, oh, everything's okay, you know, but it's not okay. It's never going to be okay. Now, there's a move here that I'm wondering about, and I don't know if it's good, but you played f6. Okay, this is cool. And definitely a move. What about knight g5? Am I going fully like Mark Esserman here? I can't resist the temptation to like play knight to g5. I want this to work. Yeah, that's an Esserman, like more a gambit sort of idea. He had this one game. He won a nice game in the Mora once. Or something like that. That's one idea, but it's not the only idea. I mean, we have like the standard. Oh shit, our queen's on h4, whatever. Okay, queen h4. I keep thinking my queen is on d1. I was actually thinking of queen h5. Well, I mean, maybe there's something here. I'm turning into Acerbate. Yeah, queen on e1. It's not enough. Probably not enough. I like this as committal, but you're not going to let him play like f6. Do you think knight g5 is the best move? It's a good move. I just checked with the engine. Black has knight g8 though. Gives him time for knight g8. Then we can agree a draw by repetition. Here, 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 here. Alright, knight g5, and you're saying if h6, knight e6 doesn't work. It's a nice fantasy. Yeah, you just have to go back. No, so ultimately it's probably not the best move. I like f6 though. f6 seems good. Captain Snap Judgment. Knight h4 looks crushing. It's not crushing. It's extremely, extremely strong. Arsenal fan always like exaggerates everything one rank higher than it's supposed to be. You know, absolutely winning means like clear advantage. Crushing is like a huge plus. You just take everything and you like reduce it by one level, and then you find like the objective. You find the objective like evaluation. Knight h4 is absolutely crushing. I'm like, I might be a little bit better here. I might have compensation with the pawn. Sladgie, Arsenal fan. This is absolutely crushing. Alright, f5. It's an inspired choice by black. But you had the feeling that, yeah, this is like an admission of defeat, sort of. I want to evacuate. You know, my idea is like king d7. I'm going to walk over to the other side and see if how long I can survive over there. But objectively, it doesn't really look good. Yeah, like even bishop g5. Seriously. This looks extremely tempting. You know that Cheesy Noob would play that. Anyone who doesn't like bishops as much as knights. I guess the problem is objectively like f4 can happen. It can get kind of messy. So Mule Skinner doesn't screw around. Knight takes f5, knight takes f5, rook takes f5. This is black's idea to play bishop c8. And you know, XL Poker, would you play knight e3 here? XL Poker would play knight e3 and sack the exchange. You like bishop g5. Well, it's more aggressive, but I need, you know, I need like decisive evidence. We have queen h5. See, that's the problem. There's no queen h5. If my queen was going to h5, but it's just not. The queen e1 still haunts me in this line. Is queen e1 really necessary? Knight takes f5, rook takes f5, rook takes f5, bishop c8. You could sack the exchange, but it's not necessary. Nothing's necessary. Is black possibly okay here? You know, the problem is like rook f2 defends g2, but it would block your queen again. The queen is killing me, man. Alright, the queen's not even getting to h4. Rook f7 works? No way. I'd eat my hat if that works. It might work if we get our other rook over, but we've got 5 pieces on the back rank. I can't believe that works. No, there's I can't even play queen h5, man. I keep trying to play queen h5. It's driving me nuts. You know, this is a move. I mean, I kind of like our position after this, honestly. I would rather be white. I think I would rather be white, like a clear exchange down. To be honest, that knight on f5 is so strong. But, you know, he could play in an intermezzo like bishop h6 or something and trade pieces. He's not forced to take the rook on f5 right away. I think that's a minor problem. Though here you would get a knight on d5, which is almost as good. Again, it's probably compensation. And no open lines for the black rooks. You get the feeling like maybe white didn't push hard enough in a critical moment and let black sort of hang on here a little too much. We're better structurally and better king safety, but is it enough? I mean, this queen drove me crazy. I condemn queen e1. You ended up playing queen e2 anyway. Unbelievable. That sucks. You know, the queen e1 just doesn't work here. Maybe the point is like we should just never do queen e1 unless black fianchettos, you know? It just isn't necessary. And this diagonal is just better. Yeah, maybe there's another way to conduct the game. Because the queen just got stuck on e1 and it didn't help. Now it just goes to e2 and that's probably a good move. Like, admit it was on a bad square on e1 and fix it. Now, what? Like queen h5? Really interesting move by Muleskinner now. c3. Initiating play on the queen side. This never occurred to me. I've been thinking like totally in one dimension. It weakens your b3 pawn. I mean, it looks a little dangerous. If you take on g5, black has to take with the rook. White is definitely better here, but it's just a question if it's enough to really seriously have any threats to win. The c3 is risky. You're +2 according to the engine. No way I would have thought your advantage was that big. Bishop g5, rook g5, h4. Yeah, that's probably like Excel poker style. There's some similarities with this game and the Excel poker game. The way you had pressure on the c file, outpost on c5. This is interesting though, you know. Rolling the dice by opening it up with c3. Because this pawn can be loose later on. White's pawns are looser. I mean, honestly, like, if I'm black here, I'm definitely taking on f5. I mean, what is black waiting for at this point? I mean, I guess the best question would be, like, why would you not take the knight on f5? I mean, that's an extremely strong piece there. You think this bishop might be better? Then take on b3. Good luck with that. You know, you might as well take on f5. But maybe Blobix is right. Like, we could maybe throw in this, but again, the computer's going to start doing stuff like h4. You know, but h4 is not stupid. I mean, if you do h4 and black retreats, now we really, like, get this in. You know, this is not a joke. And it's like, now what do you do? I guess black should play rook g6, theoretically. Let's say rook g6. But alright, queen h5. And black is, like, frozen. So I think just get rid of the knight now. You know, you got a chance to get rid of it, get rid of it. Take it now, and then just try to hold on. Is this that bad for black? Wow, +2. It's still +2. He's not even down any material, and it's +2. Based on king and middle of board. He attacks the b pawn. Queen h5. Attacking h7. Greedy. Now we're threatening knight g7. I mean, one more piece and it's definitely over. So that was a nice try. Queen g5, threatening mate. So knight d6 check loses. Knight d6 check loses to king d7. Unless you have some miracle. You have to defend against the mate. Bishop takes f5. Now he takes it. Rook takes. Queen takes. You can't take with the rook because the rook is protected. Okay. Oh my god. This guy's a tough 1700. Now I'm concerned. I'm concerned we might not be better. So trading queens is like a mortal sin. Do you have, you know, this ends up like making him look good for not taking on f5. Can't believe it, queen g5. So is there some secret move like h4 or something that would have like killed him? Is that like the engine crusher? Rookie games are lost, Blobix. Most rookie games are lost. Any rookie game I play is lost. Well, 4.5 out of every 5. But what do you think? The engine will find h4 again? It's looking at d4, but it thinks you blew your advantage. d4 right away. Wow. But I think the computer is like, it's not gonna like, it doesn't like c3. It doesn't like queen h5. And now it's like a draw. Yeah, we lost our advantage. But this is still you have the better passer, I guess. The a pawn though is dangerous. I think you gotta make sure you just don't lose here at this point. He went for liquidation. I guess this is okay. This is a very disappointing game. The d5 might be okay. I'm worried about rook g4. Are we in trouble? You're going to play rook f1 there. You could actually win. You made the game sharper now. So he plays a5. You could play... You obviously can play rook a8. But he wanted to play this first. Now rook f8. He plays rook g6. What happens if rook f8? This is where it gets really sharp. If he plays rook f8, now you can't attack the a pawn. But if you do, he'll just defend it with rook a8. But I mean, this a pawn is dangerous. I'm not sure about this. Computer thinks that black is like micro better. Oh, you have to force a rep. Okay, rook a1, rook a8, and then back. It doesn't matter. He can't give you the f6 pawn. You have to take the draw here, or you're going to lose. I mean, the outside pawn's too dangerous. This was so disappointing. I mean, you have a huge advantage. I don't know where exactly to criticize your play. I mean, I guess you had a huge advantage, but maybe like you had a really huge chance here to go for the jugular with a more aggressive move. Spoiler, white wins. Alright. It's a draw. I bet it's a draw. Now you go back. Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, rook g6 was a blunder, right? Well, if white wins, I wouldn't be surprised after this. This is a major blunder, not to play rook f8. He doesn't want to lose the a5 pawn. I guess he had no choice there. And now his king is naked, and he's threatened with rook a7. Holy crap. Check. He has a protected passer, but his king is screwed. Oh my god. Wow. And he loses. Mate and winning or winning a rook. Unbelievable. But I mean, honestly, like, Neil Skinner has had such bad luck and so many good positions. You know? Black just loses. Yeah. After this, he has to play rook f8. And his a-pawn is so, and his active rook are so active that white is lucky he can force a draw here. There's no time for, like, g4. I mean, honestly, it's really tempting to go for g4, but I don't think this is too risky. Look at this variation. Like, if you try to play for a win here with g4, a4, g5, check this out. Let's just say, like, I don't know, this could get very sharp. a3, g6, rook b2, h4, can you imagine? a2, and now black's threatening rook b1. I mean, I think you can only lose, honestly. But anyway, I don't know what you would have done. It's amazing how he's, like, nearly lost here after rook g6. Rook a1, rook takes c3, rook takes a5. Oh, wow, he has a way to hold on. Check. So this is, like, the losing move? No, even this isn't losing. King f8. So king f8, and he's not lost here. But you're definitely better. King F8, Rook H5, King G8, Rook H7, Rook takes E4, Rook like D7, threatening mate, King H8. It's a miracle black isn't lost. He still might be lost. Rook takes D6. I mean, your passed pawn is on the 5th. You have reasonable chances to win. Yeah, but I mean, I think that Mule Skinner deserves to win a drawn position. He's had so many good positions that he didn't win again today. But going back, congratulations on getting the win. I feel like this is really, maybe we did have something better. No. Wow. Yeah, we all wanted to play like Bishop G5, and apparently F4 just shuts it down. There was no better move. So if you're going to play F6, apparently you could have played this, and black would do the same kind of sack. But I still think, like, going back to the opening, I question Queen E1. What about, like, Queen E2? Why Queen E1 versus Queen E2? I mean, are we afraid of, like, knight E7, knight C6, knight D4 or something? It just seems like this diagonal for the queen is so important in the long run. Obviously, it's totally different calculus if black is playing G6, Bishop G7, knight E7, all that. But I wonder about this auto Queen E1. As you pointed out, like Queen G3 might be an option, as someone pointed out. But I think, and I also suggested F5. And that's obviously a very sharp attempt to blow black away. A lot of people might misplay this simply like E5, and you have Queen E1 and wants to do Queen E1 again. What's up with Queen E1? Why does it like that so much? I don't really get it. Anyway, guys, thanks for the stream. Thanks for the donations. You're welcome for the stream. I gotta go. It's late. Blobix 10 gift subs. Move 11 6. IBYM with 5, and others. We had 5 gift subs as well from XL Poker. Somebody I forgot. Nothing personal. The Alcoholic Gambit. What? Alright. Thanks for the Alcoholic Gambit, Lobix. I will see you guys tomorrow with Rapid Chess. Rapid Chess in the morning, if I can remember. My cure for... Yeah, Mr. Coffee, thanks for donating to the Botez gift sub, because we need them. Alright, we'll be here tomorrow, Friday. See you guys then. Thanks, Mr. Coffee. Thanks, everybody. Move 11. Bye-bye.